Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're going to be doing some electronics repairs today or tonight or whatever time it is for you. Thank you everyone for joining. It's really nice to see people turn up. First time I'm doing the stream in English. I've done fair few in French, but I can just bully my friends into coming, and I'm not alone. The reason I started doing those streams is because I really want to spend time repairing some electronics, and I thought might as well share and spend time with people and just have general fun doing so. So yeah, I recognize a bunch of your names already, but for everyone I don't know yet, welcome. Today, my main focus is going to be repairing some 5-inch stuff because I'm going away this weekend on a fairly close by road trip for 3 days. We're going to be flying and breaking a bunch of things, and it would be nice to have some spare for the team. So for those who don't know how I acquire those amazing boxes of destroyed gear, basically what I do is I offer people around me to just give me stuff they weren't going to fix, they were going to throw away. They just give it to me, and if I want, when I want, I look at them, repair them. Everything I repair, I put in a box, and when I see people in real life, they can, if they've given me stuff, they can just pick inside the box, pick whatever they want, and they just give me $5, €5, so they can pay for the spare parts. And yeah, that's how it's done. So I don't do like repair as a service. I'm definitely not skilled enough to do that. I'm learning on my own. I've mostly been just kind of learning as I go, getting better with the hot air, with all the things. So yeah, that's kind of how it works around how I decided to set it up. So here we have a bunch of gear, partially sorted, partially assessed, and a bunch of things that I haven't even started looking at. So I think I'm going to start probably with a flight controller, because at the moment the box which I have here, which is the box I use for storing the repaired bits, is pretty empty. Has one AIO that's already promised to someone, and one ESC that I repaired. This one was a fun repair. It was actually damaged pads. The ESC was perfectly fine, but the pads were destroyed, so I kind of made a new pad by grinding, revealing some bias, and using solder wick to make a new pad, and that works fine. I think this isn't a Skyline, it's a HDLRC Zeus, this one, and yeah. Oh, Spawn, you nearly killed a brand new AIO. Well, if you kill it, most of the time it's repairable, unless stuff kind of goes up in flames, so, you know. But yeah, that's a Zeus, 60 amps. Oh yeah, Hugo has, he's one of our fairly recent pilot joining in the team. I mean, we're not really a team, we're just a bunch of people who like to fly together. He joined us fairly recently and made his first 5-inch completely off repaired stuff, so that's really nice. Cost him $10 for a stack. That's pretty cool. All right, I think I'll first have a look at what's in the sorted bin, see if there's something that's like a low-hanging fruit, because I did receive some spare parts, I think. So this one, yeah, this one, I don't know. I was looking at this weekend. I don't understand it, so I'm not gonna look too much. This one, I see I bought all regulators are okay, and it might be the STM, so might look at this one and swap the STM chip. Let me show you the overhead. Oh yeah, Beowulfish Sky Stars often end up in those bins because they're not the most durable. So yeah, this might look at, see if we can confirm it's the STM, swap the STM, see if it works. That's, I think, a Dake stack. Yeah, those are the cheapo AliExpress ones, and they can really do the job, but sometimes they do break. That's only a 30 by 30, 20 by 20, so most of my friends run 3030, so I'm not going to look at that. Yeah, so this one I looked at, and I needed a back for this one. I have received the back, but I'm probably going to be keeping it for Thursday because we did it on the stream, the French stream on last week. So I'm kind of going to keep it for continuity over there. And we have this one, which I wrote, there's a 5-volt VBAT short. That might be nice to kind of investigate. I have a donor for this one, so that might help. But it's an awful board because it has a lot of super small 0201 components, which I can show you is just a pain to work on. Hey, Emin. So I can actually now have technology. I can zoom now. Let me grab a tweezers. So yeah, this board has those components like those. This one, that's 0201. That's like larger than the tip of my tweezers. So yeah, those are a pain to work on. And the most sophisticated board, and this one positions itself as a sophisticated board, though I have a bunch of them to repair, so it's not that insanely durable. Yeah, they use those tiny components. So as you work on stuff, sometimes you knock them off and they get blown away by the hot air. It's not fun. So we'll see what we can do about this one. But I think I'm going to start on this one, do a double check of what's wrong, and it's probably going to be need an STM swap. And then we'll probably look at what's in the other bin and start investigating from the ground up. Yeah, thank you thank you, Spawn. The zoom is a nice addition from last few streams. I just put in the right lens, basically. But yeah. Emily, you're saying if I need it, you have a 65 ESC. Jiggling at full load, that could be one of the channels of one of the, you have 3 motor pads on each ESC, and if one of them is dead, then you're gonna get jiggling. And if it does it with every motor, then it's gonna be the ESC, not the motor. So that's probably what it is. That could be easily fixed by swapping FETs if there's no other damage on the board. But yeah, that's if you have one channel that's dead. One coil. I mean, if you're willing to send it to me, if you're happy, I can't really go and offer to pay for postage for stuff to coming to me because I then give it away for the price of parts. So if you're willing to send it to feed the stream and give me stuff to repair on stream, then I'll be super happy to receive it and have a look at it. But yeah, as I said, I can't really offer a repair service because I don't have the skills to really do that. So I'll love to have it, but yeah, I completely understand if you prefer to keep it and have it repaired locally so you can reuse it. All right, so this thing. First thing I'm going to do is go wide on the zoom. I'm going to see how it responds when I plug into USB first. See if it does anything crazy. So let's go for this. Yeah, please do. I mean, I'll send. That's really nice of you to offer. So what do we get? We get a light. We don't get a status light. So it means it's powering some of it, but I'm guessing we're not getting anything here, of course. I'm going to try plugging it into DFU mode, just in case it's the flash that's gone wrong. It's not getting hot. So to put it in DFU mode, if you don't know how it works, that's what you use to flash a chip that's been badly flashed already. You hold the boot button, which is here, and you plug in the USB. if I can plug in the USB. And you check if it appears as a DFU device, which it does not. So I'm fairly certain that's going to be an STM chip swap. It's not getting any, it's not putting off any heat, so it's not getting powered. The diode we're getting, what kind of diode is it? We should be able to see. So we're getting the 5 volts, we're not getting 3.3. And I'm guessing, if I was a betting man, I would say we could see the 3.3 regulator that's getting hot. That's usually because the STM chip is shorted, though it's not getting hot, so I'm not sure. And usually when it's shorted, it shorts the 3.3 volt regulator, and I'm sure I can see it actually. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but it shorts it, and those have protections so they won't burn up. It's gonna be either this chip, I'm guessing it's gonna be this chip, the 3.3, feeding, or it might be this guy. Oh no, those are the backs. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the STM that's dead here. I'm gonna swap that, and we'll see if it fares better. But I think it's probably gonna be it. All right, let's go over to the scope. So something I'm gonna need to be super careful here is a mistake I've done this weekend is because my vise here has those ledges. If my board has components on the other side and I try to clamp it here, it might, when I heat up the board, it can push in the components that are on the edge, being pushed by this edge, and that is absolutely awful. I need to repair the other side, but in this case, yeah, I'm pretty good. So, right, let's turn on all the hardware. So, by the way, guys, the way I chose to, at least for now, operate this stream is if you want to join on voice and ask some questions and kind of chat as well, and like bring some life to the stream as well, so it's not just me talking, which I don't mind doing, but yeah, feel free to join the Discord. We are on the voice chat. There's a few friends with me already, but are kind of letting me talk for now. So you're absolutely welcome to join. Just make sure you don't monopolize the voice chat and start talking about random stuff in your life, which in other situations I'm super happy to listen to. But yeah, there's a link in the description for the Discord, and I'll love to have you there if you want to join on voice. Obviously, you don't have to do that at all. All right, I'm just cleaning it up so I can see a little bit better. Trying to focus up. There we go. So now it's going to be super easy. I'm going to put a bit of flux, and I'm going to be lifting the pad using hot air. All right. Bit of flux, but we have in the chat. Hey feet, welcome, welcome. It's one crusty FT. Yeah, it's seen some actual bundle life, I'm pretty sure. So most of our gears get to be extremely dirty. How does one learn such ability to fix things? There's, I guess, a start of understanding how electronics works is a good start, and then watching other people do it and trying stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of it. Lots of it is just watching a bunch of other people do it. In my situation, at least. I'm gonna put a medium tip on my stuff. I think I watched a lot of Joey Does Tech, who kind of is in the same situation as me. He learned from a bunch of other people online and started doing it. He does console repairs mostly, and NanoFix is also a good one to watch. A bunch of advice on general soldering. As for how our electronic works, there's a bunch of people talking about it online, how it's structured. It's actually fairly simple. It's kind of Lego blocks. There's a thing that converts voltages and another thing that converts some more voltages, and then a controller that has a connection to other peripherals like the barometer and the gyroscope. And you kind of learn by doing. Hey, KO, you managed to fly your 5-in. That's awesome. And super happy to be of help. All right, so I'm going to be lifting it at 400 C. I can probably go full blast on the airflow, or I'm on 80%. That should be enough. I'm going to grab my tweezers. Back to microscope view. I'm going to even be reasonable and use my suction thing that cleans up the air. Hopefully it shouldn't come through in the microphone too much. So yeah, let's go and remove this. So I'm going to grab it, try to grab it from the legs, and I see it starting to melt. And the goal is to try to not knock off a bunch of components like this one. Which is not the hardest thing to fix because they're not the smallest components, but it's annoying to have to do. It started to come. I saw that leg lift, should be good. Try not to lift the pads, and we're good. All right, very nice. I'm gonna give it a bit of clean, and I'm gonna go and with a normal iron and put some leaded on the pads. Hey Clyde, strong suction. I'm going to have I'm getting a €7 vacuum pen, which is a small suction cup at the end of a pen that lets you lift the chips easier, like from the top, so you don't run the risk of removing a bunch of components around. But for now, I'm having to lift them with the with the tweezers. So I'm putting in a medium-sized tip. The Taran, the thing I'm using is not a heat gun. It's a temperature-controlled and airflow-controlled. Let me show you. What's it called? So hot air station. So that's this thing. So yeah, has an on-off switch here, and then I can direct the air precisely, and you can choose the amount of heat and how fast the air goes. And the reason you want to control the air speed is so that when you're soldering small components, you don't blow them away with your hot air. All right, so here I'm gonna just put a bunch of flux. I'll do it two at a time. A bunch of flux. Yeah. Go. Come in with some solder, which I have somewhere over. There's my solder over here, and tip. Put a wrench. There we go, nicely tinned. can see because of the flux, it's not clumping up at all. It's just leaving nice shiny solder on the pads. There we go. Oh, there we go. We had a small bridge. I cleared it up. Oh, I managed to pull a component which was here, and now it's here because I should have rotated my board, and I did not because I was in a hurry. I'm going to fix that now. So to fix this, I'm going to put in some hot air, grab that component, put it back in its place. Okay. I'm not in a very nice position. Okay, I'm not in a nice position. I'm not going to try to force it. I'm going to put it in a nicer position so I can do it comfortably. So now what I'm going to do is use hot air to tack it into place, and then I'm going to reflow it. Here I'm trembling. So now it's not really nicely put down, but it's solid enough, so it's tacked into place. I'm coming with some flux. I did not do this on purpose to demonstrate it, but I think it's a good demonstration. Since I don't want that component to blow away, I'm going to reduce my airflow to about 50%. And you'll see the components wiggle into place on its own. Let's see. The solder melts, and it's going to pull itself into place. Oh, well, or it's going to try to go away because my airflow is too hot still. All right. Now, that's not good. I'm going to grab it again, tack it again, and do the same thing with some less. So now it's tacked. Now it's actually nicely soldered this time. So I probably don't need to reflow it, but since I want to show you the reflow part, I'm going to put some more thing, and I'm going to reduce the air again, go for 30% now. See, I'm learning it. I'm learning as we go. I've done that before, but I'm also trying to come in from up above so it doesn't blow it away. And you should see it melt. I think it's melted, but it's not pulling in, possibly because the board is dirty. It's good enough in terms of solder joint. So I'm going to stop there before I mess it up. All right. Hey, Joseph. I'm not sure it's impressive because if you see people who know how to do it day in, day out, they do it way better. But it's working well enough for me. So now I'm going to give it a small clean, put on some fresh flux, and grab an STM chip and solder it in its place. So that there's a nice technique for cleaning up that I learned from NanoFix, which is using if I can find my toothbrush. So you put a thing, those papers, they're called KimWipes from KimTech, and just put a bunch of alcohol on top and just brush with your brush. And it soaks up all the flux onto the paper. It's a nice way to not just spread the flux around, but actually remove it. And we should be fairly clean now. We are clean enough. I've got a chip. That's an F722. I have a bunch of them in a box, which I almost spilled. I'm trying to show you. Those are the freshest, newest fancy chips from our great supplier AliExpress, and we kind of hope they work and they're legitimate, which they seem to have been for now. So that's probably okay. Some flux. So I'm not trying to put not necessarily a ton of flux here. I just want all the pads to be nicely wetted, though I'll clean it up afterwards anyway. So in case you're not sure about the direction this thing is, I'm just surprised. Why is the crystal open? I've just noticed this thing here. That's the crystal oscillator. It's not supposed to look like this. Also, those traces are kind of damaged, but I don't think that's, I think that's probably fine. I think that'll be, let me zoom in. Let's focus. So the tracks, you can see some copper. Might be that that track actually might be cooked. So that's a trace and that's a trace. So those traces are cut, and that might have been part of the issue actually. So I'm gonna keep the chip I removed, just in case it's possibly not dead. So I'll make sure I don't throw it away. I'll put on the new chip, but that probably needs repairing. Yeah, that's definitely, and that crystal is not what that should look like. Let me grab a chip. Yeah, this is the same board, similar board. And this is that's a donor. So I'm going to be able to steal this off this board. That's what it's supposed to look like. And also the trace on. So might be doing some trace repair today. Actually, I've not done that before, so might be doing that. But I'll start by stealing this crystal, and we'll notice that its orientation. So 80 is at the top. I don't think it matters, but I'll steal that quickly, and so that's going to be. I can probably put the hot air back at high flow. I just want to get the part off and grab it. So my gripping on the board is not good. I'm not going to rush this. Let's do it cleanly. Do you have some stuff in the chat?
Hello.
Hello. Who do we have? Sorry, I don't. I should see the names actually.
It's a panda.
Ah, Mika. Can you? So Spawn is asking whether I can, in theory, upgrade the chip from F405 to F22. You can't really, because the pinning is not the same. So the things that go to some of the components and everything is not interchangeable, and you would need to redo the target if you could. So I'm pretty sure you can't. I'm going to put a bit of flux on that crystal oscillator. And let's try to get it off the board. There we go. Now we have it, and you remember that 80 is going facing up in terms of the board orientation. That's why we have donors. That goes back to the bin. I'm going to be doing, I think I'm going to first fix all the things that require hot air. I'm going to confirm that I'm not getting any signal or anything good happening when I connect to USB. And after that, I'll do the trace repair. It should be fairly easy. It's a small. It's not a small. It's not. It's a small trace, but I can probably do that. We'll see. So let me remove that crystal oscillator. I probably should have started with a better, closer board inspection before I started swapping STMs, but that's so much different it's supposed to look like. Yeah, I think the cover, the metal cover on top of it just went away. So like it has a metal casing on top of it. And yeah, that's just been removed in the probably the same kind of crash that ripped the trace. Let's so same as before, and I'm kind of gonna try. So it's more. Oh, I didn't grab it correctly, so I'm failing to put it down. I need to find a way to grab the component in such a way that I can drop it on the traces without my tweezers. And actually, I'm going to do it the safe way. I'm going to put back some flux, and I'm going to put it in place, and then heat it up gently till it's falling in place. I'm probably going to reduce the heat a bit. So yeah, I'm going to go for super low airflow, like 10%, and give it a chance so as to not to blow it away, and give it a chance to settle into place on its own. See, it wants to move. So I'm going to go from above and wait for it to go into place on its own.
Like magic.
Like fucking magic. Hopefully I should see. Don't. You can see the pads aren't molten, aren't melted yet. Now that's starting to melt. No, it's not. Come on. Come on. Yeah, with that level of there we go. It's starting. With that level of airflow, you can't really rush it. I think it's all melted everywhere. I think we're good. Should be okay. Right? Yeah, that should be good enough. Now, the trace. So we have one trace that's definitely cut, and the other one looks okay. Let's see if we can confirm this by I'm going to remove, so I'm going to start by cleaning it up, and then I'm going to be poking at stuff with a multimeter. So back to my...
I don't know if you explained it before, but what was the point of this crystal oscillator?
That's the thing that gives its frequency to the STM chip.
Okay.
So,
oh yeah, that's the one that needs to be like right next to the chip.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
And that's the thing I used to know. I used to remember what orientation the chip should be put in. And when I was trying to figure out what way to put my chip on, I noticed it was looking bad. So maybe it was fine in terms of how it worked, but I wasn't going to take the risk. I'm just replacing it. Okay, so no, I said I was going to first replace the STM chip, so I don't want, if I'm going to lay down a small piece of wire to fix the trace, I don't want that to move when I put my chip with the hot air again. So I'm going to do the chip first. So that's going to be back to where we were when I got interrupted by this crystal. Up. Gonna grab the chip. Actually, I'm gonna first clean my tweezers because they're getting sticky. So there's just some IPA and the wipes. So let me grab the chip. And that chip, the orientation should have the ST marking facing opposite the crystal. So 180 from this. There we go. I'll put it back the other way because it's nice for soldering. There you go. So that's the right orientation. Let's put it into place. I'm a bit shaky today. I'm not always that shaky. Kind of haven't had enough coffee, I think. All right, I think we're spot on. Now let's heat it up. I can probably afford a bit more heat, so I'm going to go for like 50%, still 400 degrees. And heat it up till it falls into place. I'm trying to go from above directly, so I reduce the chances that it will move. Now we're trying to look for the liquefaction of the solder. It's starting to melt on the left. Yeah, it's melting nicely. It's melting nicely. So I'm gonna need to shift it a bit because at the bottom it's kind of moved a tiny bit. There we go. Looks good at the bottom. Good at the top. Looks good everywhere. Gonna come off the heat. Up. And because I'm still in a learning phase and I'm still not very good at this, I'm gonna test each and every small leg and see if it's soldered correctly. And I'll touch it up with a small iron tip if it's not. So I'll give it a second to solidify. Well, it's solidified, so I'm gonna grab.
It looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good, but so I'm gonna pull gently on each leg and see if it moves. All right.
The PCB version of pull my finger.
The chip is not gonna fart. I don't think. I hope not. But yeah, it's.
Oh, if it does, it's the magic smoke, and you don't want that.
I don't have a can of magic smoke. Oh, this one looked like it might not be, but it is. Have you seen those cans of magic smoke, Intel magic smoke, that you can just spray back into the components? It's a nice meme. No. I think we're likely to be good on all fronts.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's probably my second one ever that I didn't need to retouch. So that's good. All right, let's look at this trace. So this trace, let's see what goes where. So first of all, I need to understand which one's the trace, which one's the not a trace. Yeah, so we have, let me zoom in, enhance. Are you guys focused? Yeah. So we have a ground pour here. So that's kind of a big copper pad. Then we have nothing, that's just empty thing. Then the trace, and nothing, then the trace. So it's barely broken. Actually, I can probably bridge that with solder. That would be the easy way. And I don't mind easy every once in a while. So let me put a bunch of flux and see if I can bridge So the thing you don't realize is how small it is, because we zoomed in all the way. And let me show you the iron I'm going to be using.
Banana for scale.
I don't have a banana. I do have bananas. So that's a normal soldering iron. That's the soldering iron I'm going to be using. They're both hot, by the way. So let me zoom in. I can show you the tip. So yeah, that's not even like a big tip on the big one. Those tips, they're just so funny because of how small they are. So if this is a normal knife tip from a normal soldering iron, those are a small knife tip from the small soldering iron. I like how cute they are. Big tip? Well, you'd better give me a big tip. Ha ha ha. I don't have tips. So yeah, that's going to be the small tip you've just seen, and it's going to look huge in the microscope, which we're moving back to. And my solder, I do have some thin solder, which is also going to look ginormous. So yeah, that's my small tip. And that's my small so I did manage to tin those, but in order to make a bridge, I don't think I'm gonna succeed in making a bridge just like that. I think I'm gonna have to lay down a piece of wire. I think for this one, I can probably pull a piece of wire off a bit of, what's it called, solder wick. That's probably, can probably pull a few strands of that. Or I do have enameled copper wire, the motor kind, the thing they use for motors. But I'm going to try pulling a tiny length of wire off a solder braid and see how that goes. Let me grab my tweezers and see if I can pull something out of this. So that's going to be a bit of solder braid, and it has wires with a bunch of flux. There you go, that's a wire. That could be our trace. So now I need to see if I can tag that on. I'll leave it there because I need to change hands. Come on, come on.
Good boy.
And I'll need to see if I might have to, actually I probably will try to reveal a bit more of the trace so I can tack more onto it. So let's see if I can do that. So actually, I'm going to remove that wire, move it to somewhere else. I can always make a new one anyway. Clean that up so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to grind away the solder mask so I can put some more. So we can see here, let's see if I can adjust the polarization. We can see that I did manage to stick on some amount of solder onto this, but I'm going to grind on the solder mask a bit. Is that the correct tweezer? And I don't want to damage those tweezers. I'm going to use those ones. I'm going to try to grind at the solder mask to reveal more copper. Man, this looked tiny on the...
This looks even more tiny than before.
That's just too... I'm going to have to do it. Give me a second to change the blade on my knife. I'm going to need some sharp. So that's just good old regular hobby knife. I'm going to just use a sharp blade. And that's what I'm going to try to use to grind away at the solder mask. Yeah, thanks, Joseph, for the encouragements. That's literally the first time I'm doing trace repairs, so there is some amount of learning from me. But I've seen it done on streams by other people, so. Okay.
Yeah, I love watching those YouTube shorts, people repairing traces. And now Krhom Shop is doing it.
Yeah. So they have proper tools.
You have the UV resin and everything?
I do have the UV resin. Yes.
Yes.
I'm grinding in between. I'm grinding in between. And I wasn't grinding the right place.
We don't see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. So I was like a fool grinding, let me show you, here in between the tracks, but as soon as I started grinding on the tracks, then I started revealing copper, which I'm going to do on the other side as well. So now I'm going to have to clean it up. You have a nice bit of copper on both sides. Let me clean it up. IPA. I need a better dispenser. Right, so we have fresh copper on both sides. I think we're going to grind a bit more the bottom one. And then I'm going to see if I can wet those with solder better. There you go. I'm going to try to not damage the copper, but if I do, I can just go back further up. All right, I think now we have a nice bit of copper. Yeah, so that's nice. Now we see if we can put on some solder. Who's solder, like you say in the States. Yeah, that's taking it beautifully. Now I'm gonna grab my tiny wire, which I did drop in a convenient location. It's not as if I couldn't make some more anytime I want. And I'm gonna try. Ooh, man, this is insane. My tweezers aren't really great for that. I mean, there are tweezers designed exactly for grabbing those absolutely tiny wires. I might go for something a tiny bit larger than this, actually. Oh, let's try this. If I don't succeed, let me go for an orientation. That's better. And let me grab those. Ah, see, my tweezers are kind of, you might not see, they are kind of crisscrossing each other.
Yeah.
But that might be enough. I just need to be able to lay it flat. Oh man, it's just, yeah, it's jumped away. So the tweezers, I think it's here. I'm gonna go. Those tweezers are not the right tweezers. Let's see if I can what I have that might do the trick. I do have a bunch. Let me show you. Go ahead. I do have a bunch of motor wires, and maybe this will be a tiny bit bigger. Let's see under the scope if it seems like it would do. It needs to not be wider than the... Yeah, that looks like it could do fine. Yeah, it's the same size as the truck, so it's going to be a bit easier for me to grab onto. So I'm going to cut a bit of it. And because it has enamel on top of it, I'm going to have to do a... So here it is. I'm going to have to burn the enamel. So I'm going to take one of my bigger irons, put some solder onto it. If I had a third hand, that would be awesome. Because right now, yeah. So what you're not seeing is me put on some solder. I'm trying to show you on top of the microscope so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to be burning away the enamel. It stinks. There we go. Ah, it stinks. You know that if you don't know the burnt motor smell, well, that's the burnt motor smell I just had.
Oh, I
And
know.
it stinks. And it stinks. All right, so now I'm going to try to put on a kink at the end of that wire so I can come in and just put it on. So for that, I need my other tweezers, and I'm going to grab it here, if I can. And this job is hard. There we go. Now we bent. Now I'm going to try to align this. Take my small handle. Try to align this with this and see if I can solder that and try not to move too much.
They make it look easy in the videos.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
So easy on Instagram, but in
They
reality,
just solder
it's
in
so
2
small.
seconds, cut, boom, next step.
Yeah, but I think the right tweezers would be... So here I'm off screen trying to grab my wire again, by the way. I still see it. I need to orient it correctly. So yeah, I think I just changed the way I'm holding it to be closer to my... So it's my hand is closer to my work, so I don't shake as much.
Amplify the shake. Yeah.
Where's my...
What up, dude?
What up? Trying to do trace repairs.
Come on, come on, come on. Oh,
You got it?
I think...
Yeah,
I think we have it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do we have it on both ends? Well, that would be super lucky, but it could be. And for that, I'm going to have to see if we're not contacting, bridging over to ground. So it's multimeter time. Well, if I got it, I'll cut the excess and use UV resin on top, a solder mask. But first, we test. So that's my multimeter. Sorry, I'll try to put it so you can see it better. So I'm going to go into beep mode, which is continuity. And double check. I don't know if are you hearing the beeps? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, I'm going to first see whether this here, which is an exposed ground, which I'm going to confirm by checking on the ground, which it beeps, is touching this. And it's not, no beep. Okay, that's good. Now let's do zoom out and find out where those traces go. So I think this trace goes to this pad, maybe, or maybe it goes all away. Let's see if it beeps. Nope. So it goes under. So this goes somewhere.
So yeah, it could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere. I mean, if I'm going to put some solder mask on it anyway, might as well get a bit of copper exposed so I can double check. Oh, it's moved. So I can actually double check and ensure that it's fixed. So just revealing some copper. Try not to cut the trace, that would be a bad idea. I mean, I could be completely confident in my repair and not check this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I wouldn't.
you know, first time I'm doing this, so.
You're looking for trouble, my friend.
No, I'm looking for copper. All right, I think I have enough that I can test. I do have super sharp probes. Let me clean up that bit. Let's not rush this. And this flight controller better work after that. So this, beep, so it's fixed. Now I just need to cut my wire and bury all of that under solder mask. Can probably cut it there. Oh, hopefully I didn't cut this. Just, no, I think I'm just revealing
we can't really
copper.
see. Yeah.
Sorry, I just nicked this a bit, but I don't think I would have cut through the copper. All right, now we test, see if it works, and if it works, I'll clean it all up. Can we see any other damage? I don't think. I mean, this has those LEDs don't look super healthy, but you know, nothing on this board does. All right, let's go and plug it into USB. So here, we're gonna have the best thing we can hope for is bootloader mode, because the STM has no flash. So I'm going to be holding the boot button, plug it in, and look at that. What just appeared. Nice. STM bootloader. Let's flash this. I'm pretty sure it's a date.
Yeah.
So I need to. Let's go. Hey Joseph, glad you're joining. I didn't realize you were here for a bit. But yeah, NanoFlux is amazing. Sorry, catching up a bit on the chat. I'm gonna kick off the flashing and then catch up on the flash. I'm pretty sure that's the board. Let's remove all that scrap. So yeah, Hemming Sun, welcome to the stream, and no problem. Happy to do the lens mod video. It's by far the best idea I had to kick off my YouTube career, because it's getting so much good feedback, and it's shared a lot, and it's really nice. So super happy I did that, and super happy it helps you all. Have I tried with an abrasive pen to clear? I'm guessing that was about the revealing the copper on the trace. I have not. I probably might get one of those. I know they exist. I just never had the use for them. So I think it's something to add to my toolkit. Let me actually go to this so you can kind of see my face. So it's loaded. Let's flash. Yeah, so Neo, you suggested the thing I did, so I'm pretty sure we are on the same line here. Oh yeah, I didn't get the chance to say bye to Spawn, but if you watch the DVR, the VOD, yeah, should be able to see that I said bye. Hey, Big Whoop, long time no see, actually. Super happy to see you here. Hopefully everything's good with you, man. Yep. Joseph, don't unsub. You're my most famous sub. But yeah, seems like it's flashed. And if you go here, good news, the blinkety blinking is blinkety blinking, which is what you want. Let's go back to see if my device is there. It is there. And let's see if everything seems to be working. Okay, that's good. So normally I would say, yeah, it's fixed. However, recently I've had weird troubles with quads not behaving properly after you do stuff. So first of all, we need to check that the backs are working so that I can power it off from the LiPo and a few other things. And so I said, now when I have it repaired, I'm gonna actually fly it. So we're gonna actually fly it. We're not gonna fly it far, but you'll see. Let me show you. And that's lucky because I have this, I've come up with this. So some people who have seen to my stream before will know this old beast, which is my test quad. Well, now it has an extra component. It's going to let us fly it. So there's a few things. First of all, I installed a small receiver. And this happens to be the same board. So that's nice. I'm just going to be able to swap it in. And we're going to hover it in the living room. Because, I mean, what's
In the living room?
more...
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, God.
what I'm going to do is take a... It's the same board, so I just can take a dump of this one. And put it on the other one. Two presets. Backup. So yeah, in the end, it was. I'm curious to see if the STM is dead. Actually, I don't know how I'm going to test that. I might swap, sacrifice a test board to test, or do a swap and see if it doesn't work. I'll put back the other one. But let's go for.
I told Krhom yesterday to build the cage to test the drone in house. That will be easier. Maybe.
I don't need the cage.
Oh yeah.
You'll see. You'll be able to see. You should be able to see it. So that's the dump. Let's put it on the other flight controller.
What about like 3-inch props?
No, not safe.
A bit more safe.
Nah.
Living on the edge.
Yeah, I'll load backup, and we want the DAKE backup. I'll double check that the orientation of the gyro, save anyway. Oh, because it's not the same exact version. Okay, it should work still. Should see that the orientation, yeah, that's all good. Should be good. Let's swap it quickly. Should be easy enough. Let me pull the the receiver. Where's my self-closing? I always lose stuff that's just right under my eyes. I can actually give you a closer view now. Hey, sexy overhead shots. So. Right. Need to unscrew those. Joseph is just here talking shit. Yeah, that's what I expect for you. That's what I'm hoping you're coming for. That's the whole. That's your gig. So Big Whoop saying it's just getting some FP buds back in the air with the season coming back, the hot weather not there yet, but soon maybe. Dirtbag Championship, that's going to be fun. You'll see, Nick, that I don't need, it doesn't really cause that much wind. Let me grab some gummies, actually. It's not actually that bad testing in the living room. Oh, it's not exactly the same board. This must have been the 4.5. Oh well, because this old board I'm using for testing has the cutouts on the edges. This one does not. So let me put on some gummies. I know it kind of delays getting more repairs in for the stream, but I'm really really want to make sure the gear I put in the box is going to be good for this weekend. So yeah, I'm going to take the time. And if, oh, this one looks gnarly. And if if I have to spend some more time outside of the stream, then maybe I'll do it. But I have this stream and the next one on Thursday, which is going to be in French. So every French speaker, you're welcome to join. Every English speaker, you're welcome to join as well. But it's going to be
Oui.
there we go. So the pinning is correct because, oh, so let me double check there's no bent pins. There's no bent pins. The pinning is correct for this board. It's the same board. Oh, close enough. Yeah, because the plug is kind of damaged a bit, I need to make sure I align it correctly. So before I solder the receiver, I'll just do a quick smoke check. So I have, that's the angle you don't get to see yet. I need to invest in some way to show you, but I have a power supply here that I'm going to put to 4S, so 16.8 volts. And I have an overcurrent protection on it. It means the PSU is going to shut off if it pulls more than the set amps, which I've set to 2 amps. And I can go ahead and turn it on. I was waiting for the 2 beeps. Ah, that's not the good beeps. And you can see that we don't get the mystery intensifies. So we don't get the good blinky lights here. And I bet if I plug USB, which powers up the MCU correctly, we will get the bright beeps. No, we don't even. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. What are we getting wrong? So, bat and ground. So yeah, it's the same pinning. Should work. Back to square one. And, all right. So we know we have a we know we don't have the let me do it again actually, but we know there's something not lighting up in the LEDs. Let's confirm which LEDs light up. I'll go close up. So we know a bit more. So the LEDs are in order. There's 10 volt, 5 volt, 3.3 volt, and FC in the middle. So the middle one is the flight controller. Oh, night boots up. And night works. I just hadn't pushed the plug far enough, I think. Well, hopefully that's this, but we'll make it fly and we'll see. Okay, let me push it all the way. Oh yeah, there's still some movement. I think I had it barely contacting. And I would have explained why, probably. Yeah, because even with the USB, which would power the MCU, which would usually make it go the right beeps if it's a back issue. So if the MCU is not getting the right power, it didn't do the beep. So let's go again, just to confirm. MCU is booting up. Okay. All right. Just getting scared for no reason, just not pushing the things in the hallway. Let's solder this and give it a go. We'll do an army test on the desk and then we'll fly it. We'll hover it. Let's go. So it's gonna be. I don't see the markings. I have a microscope. Hopefully my microscope goes fine. Okay, that doesn't help. Let's clear the dirt. So it's one is supposed to be a T and one is supposed to be an R. T2, R2. I should have wrote it down before. Yeah, I'm guessing that's T. Yeah, that's T2 and R2. So
You just swap them if it's wrong.
No, I refuse. I refuse. I want the thing to be correct. So
correct
yeah,
straight away.
Yeah, I always discourage trying at random. I like when you understand what you're doing and do it well. And I managed to lose my tweezers again. There we go. So that's going to be yellow, which is my RX on the. Let me try to find a good position. I managed to touch. That's not the right tip, by the way. I should have switched to a smaller tip, but I always manage to convince myself not to do it. Also, I have a bunch of solder on my tip, which isn't helping. Oh, yeah, and the other one. Which one is which? Well, I don't know, but I have a multimeter. And I'm guessing the exterior one is the ground, which I can check by checking. Yeah, correct. Are you seeing correctly? Yeah, looks like you are. We don't need this to be perfect. It's going to get removed immediately. Just need it to hold. There we go. Let's zoom out and do a arming test.
Welcome to HTX. Throttle warning.
Oh, thank you, Nick, from left, yellow, blue. So that's correct. Yeah. I kind of thought I remembered that, but I wasn't sure. So let's go.
Telemetry connected.
Now I'm going to remove the overcurrent protection, or it's going to trigger. It's arming. Let's put on some props.
Telemetry lost.
And then it's going to be fully confirmed to work. Some completely new and undamaged props. Yeah, they might have seen a band or two. Oh, and because I'm lazy, I'm gonna leave you for just a second to go grab the electric screwdriver that's in my bag. That is not in my bag, that is here.
You're sure the stream you don't have pets around?
I don't have pets around.
Okay, good, good, good.
Unless you, like, I have a bunch of spiders, so most of you might know this thing. That's Bardwell showed it on a video, and so gyroscopic. So you press the button and it turns.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because of the clutch. You can just go ham, and it just never hurts your fingers, and you finish by hand. And it's really nice. I don't even need to tighten them that hard. I'm going to remove them. Right. And now, for the main event, this thing. That TPU I designed yesterday that goes over the standoffs. Looks
Oh
like
god.
a small piglet.
No,
It's
no
really nice.
top plate.
That's really the pigtail now. And yeah, just goes over there. I'll try to shove the RX wires.
I
Yeah.
don't see a problem.
Yeah, I don't see a problem either. So let's go to global view. Let's plug this in.
Will it fly?
And hopefully you all can see over here. Can you see the bird? You can see the bird.
Come on, come on. Yeah.
There we go.
Amazing.
Now it's confirmed to be
Clap, clap,
fixed.
clap, clap.
Now it's fixed. Happy I got the LEDs on top. Makes it easier to see on stream. So yeah, no top plate needed. You don't need a top plate. I mean, technically, it's a plate and it's on top.
Sure.
Top plate. But yeah,
Let's
I
fly
wasn't going.
windows without top plate.
No.
Durability.
But yeah, I wasn't going to go and like have you watch me put in some screws for a top plate. Also, I put on some super long screws here, so it's easier to put on and remove. Also, I didn't even have the stack screw nuts. Oh well, don't need those because I have the long screws. Yeah, don't do it at home. Leave it to the professionals, which I am not. All right. It's even freshly flashed with the latest beta flight. Oh. There we go. And this goes in the box. Next. All right. What time is it? We took a bit more than an hour. If we are lucky, we can fix something else. I guess if we want to make this a more all-encompassing stream, we should do an ESC next. So what do we have? Let's put the test squad back. Probably need to remove the props, but do that later. So ESCs that I have investigated, there was the Z's one, but that's not gonna work. That's a bunch of flight controllers. Yeah, there's just this one, but it has a channel that does weird things, and I'm pretty sure it's not fixable. I would need to do a full FET swap to ensure it's not the FETs. So swap the FETs from two channels. And so basically what the issue is, when I spin it, 3 motors work fine, and the 4th motor goes crunchy, is the best way I can describe it. It kind of spins, but also spits out like 10% D-short errors. So what I would like to do is take the FETs from one channel, put it on the other one, and vice versa, and see if it helps. And if it doesn't, which I think it won't, it's the either the driver chip or the MCU for that channel, which you can't change. You can change the driver chip, but the MCU can't because it's licensed, it's BL32. Unless you have a donor, I guess, that has the same layout, you could change it.
Or you just flash it afterwards to AM32.
Or you flash it to AM32, actually, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Let me see what I can do to fly this to AM32.
there's the target, but
Yeah, absolutely. But there is a bunch of ESCs in there. Let's see what we have. That's 30 by 30. Oh, look at that. What a surprise. SpeedyBee. Who would have guessed? That's not a SpeedyBee. That's
yeah, but
burnt.
you're gonna fix it and it's just gonna break again, man.
Don't say that. That's an iFlight 1. And those are all the 32 by 32 I have in there. That's the flight controller. So let's see the damage. Let's try to focus on the one that's not completely burnt. So this one doesn't have anything obvious here. And I think it's probably going to be the common failure mode, which is some of the capacitors here that fail. So that could be an easy fix. And this has burnt here, which might be fine or might be not fine.
What do you
Sometimes
mean
it's
might
just
be fine?
so those capacitors are all
Yeah.
filtering the same thing. They're all filtering between the two legs here. And something has touched here, like this, the board, the FC board has slammed into this, that shorted those caps, and a short fire melts stuff. If the traces, specifically around that FET here, are still fine, which they have no real reason they would burn, really, except being molten by the rest of the fire.
Yes.
They could be fine. So as bad as this look, this can still work, possibly.
Yeah.
And this thing, well, who wants to put that on their quad with the big cap at the back? But
I think you can cut it off, right?
yeah, you can. I would remove it. That looks quite good, but I don't have donors, so if that has a FET that's dead, I can't change it unless I happen to have something with the same FETs, which I might do. I mean, I have a bunch of donors. And then we have another SpeedyBee, probably the same failure mode. Nothing obvious. I think going for the SpeedyBees is probably the safest bet, because I have two here and I have a bunch of donors. And they do work. I remember at least one of those is from Roost, and he kind of flew with them for a long time. So, I think I'm going to go for the SpeedyBees and leave the other ones for a later date. All right. So which one? The less dirty one. Let's go for the less dirty one. So initial checks we're gonna do is we're going to check a bunch of continuities to make sure nothing's burnt, and then we're going to search for Diode Mode stuff to check if the FETs are okay. So this should be a good view, and that's a good way to do at least a core check of what could be wrong. What's in the clear bottle next to the toothbrush? That's IPA. I have a bunch of different ways of dispensing IPA, so isopropyl alcohol. I have this bottle that's kind of nice to squirt onto a board and squirt onto a KimWipe to kind of clear flux. And I have this one that's also nice to spray around when you want to clean a large surface. I use it to clean my printer beds as well. And I have this thing, which is super nice when you want to use a sponge to clean up some flux in some places. So you have those sponges, you grab them with the tweezers, and then you press it, and there's a bunch of alcohol that kind of pools up. You can suck them in the sponge. And yeah, I think that's all the ways I have to dispense alcohol. Yeah, they all have their usefulness. So that's continuity mode, so beep mode when it's continuous. So first of all, obviously, is plus and minus. That's continuous. You need to clear that first, but we're not continuous, so that's good. It should beep for a second sometimes because of the fact that it doesn't beep at all for charging capacitors. Is kind of telling to me that there's something wrong super early, probably, but we'll see. Let me check if actually if it's continuous to the pins. Yeah, so I'll check if it's continuous to the pins. So here, I'll zoom in a bit more actually. Here you can see the markings for the pins. So minus is this one. It's the pin inside this, but it has a pad here. I'll make sure that's continuous, that hasn't burnt. And it is. Is it? Oh, it's the second one. Okay, that's I don't know what those are. That's the first one. That's continuous. Then wait. Then that should be the plus. That should be continuous to this, I think. Maybe the pads are not. You know what? I'm going to put in a plug. Maybe the pads are not matching the description. So I'm putting a plug. Verify that pins aren't bent. Actually, let me show you under the scope, because it's important to know how to check this. Can I go up more? I cannot, so I can rotate the scope. So it's good to, slightly bent, but nothing, nothing bad. That's a very common issue actually diagnosed yesterday or today. Someone had bent pin issues. I had bent pin issues the other day. Well, but yeah, it's something that's always worth checking. So I'm going to put this there, and now I can probe. So the external one, so the red one in this case is going to be minus. So it's not how you would want it, but I'm going to check here. I'm going to put on minus here. I'm going to check. I'm checking this because recently I had a bunch of some ESCs. So yeah, we'll be good. Some ESCs where those traces were burnt. Yeah, we're good, at least there. So there hasn't been a short above, like past the ESC, that would have burned those traces. They can act as a fuse sometimes. So. Oh, I didn't realize it was you, Bags, asking the question. Took me a second. Hey, welcome to the stream. Next, I'm going to check whether any of the FETs have failed shorted. And that's easy. They can be, so the way it works is you have, for each of those FETs, you have one, so each motor pad has two FETs. FETs are kind of switches that can be turned on and off with electricity. And for each pad, you have two FETs, one that goes to ground, one that goes to positive. So you want to start with ground and check any motor pad that could be shorted to ground, and then I'll do the same thing with positive. If you do have a FET that shorts open, you usually, if you try it, like you think, oh, I burnt a motor, and you don't think to check whether you have a FET shorted to ground, you can put in a new motor and it's going to burn immediately. So it's something that's worth checking after burning a motor. If the motor is like stinky and all brown and kind of obviously melted, make sure you do a quick check. You can do it while the quad is with live, like mount, like you don't have to desolder anything. You just use put minus in the minus and test all the motor pads from the side of the quad and do the same with positive. But yeah, I don't think here we have that. All right, we're good. And now the other test I'm going to do to have a first inkling at whether there's a FET that's dead, it's checking diode mode. Diode mode is a mode you have on the multimeter. Here, it's this one. So one more press and it's there. What it does is injects voltage up to the point where the diode becomes, lets the current through, which is after a certain threshold, a certain voltage threshold. So it's called I can't find words today. That's the voltage drop of the diode. And because FETs are transistors, they're basically diodes in reverse. When they are off, they're diodes going the other way. We can test, making sure they do all have a similar diode value. And here you want to have the current go backwards. So Normally, if you were to test a diode, you put the red probe on the back of the diode, on the hot side, like the plus side, the back of the arrow of the diode, and the ground on the other side, so that current goes through the diode. And here, because the diodes are backwards, we want to put the red probe on minus, and then probe all our motor pads, check the value. And we're expecting to see, like, yeah, 0.5 is about right, usually, but we mostly want them to all be the same. And then we'll do the same thing by putting the black probe on the ground, on the red wire, and testing all motor pads. So let's do all of them. And 0.5, 0.5, 5. So that's what right now we're testing what we call the low side MOSFETs, which are the FETs that are between the motor coil, so the motor pad, and the ground. And then we're going to test the high side MOSFETs. So once again, putting the black on red and test the motor pads. And we're checking. And that's an easy way to quickly see if there's a DEN MOSFET. You can have a DEN MOSFET that still passes this test. But, all right, so now I got the feeling that this ESC is pretty much working besides the circuitry that powers the MCUs here. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm going to put some current into it and see what I get, what current draw I get from the power supply. I'm guessing I'm going to get nothing. I'm going to have to let you know because I can't show you the PSU, unfortunately. So I'm injecting 16 volts, so 4S. And I'm getting 0.3 watts, 0.2 watts, which isn't crazy for that. So let's put some motors on it and see if we get some activity. It's time to do the reverse. The reverse. Where's my? There we go. The reverse installation of this squad. When you start repairing stuff, you spend a lot of time soldering and desoldering motors. All right. So here what we're going to do is solder those motors and see if we hear beeps. If we don't hear beeps, it means the electronics driving this ESC is not working. Let's grab a thick tip for the iron. I probably managed to drop my hot tip bit behind the thing, trying to go too fast. Yep. All right, let's desolder this. So Mika, you're doing a live stream this weekend? Oh, might not be here anymore. Can you guys still hear me? 1 2 1 2.
Yes, we hear you.
Sorry,
Yeah. Sorry,
make
wasn't
sure.
here.
Wanted to make sure.
And yes.
Yeah. So for those who kind of understand French a bit,
weekend.
yeah, we're doing like the guys in Lyon are doing a Bando live stream. You can see a lot of flying, a lot of talking, a lot of repairing quads and everything from that mythical bundle that we call Disney. It's on the
Hell yeah.
Bandolovers Twitch channel. It's really nice. And I encourage you all to go and check it if you want to see how the sausage is made, or just, or maybe just like us, the weather
Yeah,
is horrible.
it's raw FPV, uncut,
Yep.
with all the crashes.
All the pain, all the...
It's mostly crashing, yes.
Yes, indeed. It happens.
But yeah, we have lots of fun, and yeah, come and join us.
It happens on most weekends and usually during the afternoon EU time. It's really
Yeah.
nice. Okay. Let's go for that dude.
Oh, that's the frame with the isolated stack.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
see. Oh shit, that doesn't fit. Right, I'll still put a bit of flux on this because I don't know how long they've been sitting out. By the way, that flux, the nano flux, is amazing for a rework. I don't know if it's the best for general soldering because it's quite thin when it melts, but it doesn't smell at all, and it's quite, doesn't evaporate as much as well when you're soldering for, like on the with the hot air.
See, it's more clear.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the other one is like yellowish.
yeah, and it does get a bit yellow if you cook it for long, but not by much. It's really clear. Like you can see, my wires are way too long. The reason they're way too long, because sometimes I have to test some smaller ESCs or AIOs. So I just redid them to be super long. Don't have any problem.
So what are the chances you plug this in and it just works?
It just works. There are chances also that I'm getting like a ton of errors on one channel, something like that,
Yeah.
which I'm not
or
really
like
sure how to
RPM,
fix.
less RPMs on one channel
Yeah,
as well.
if I get that kind of, if I get lesser RPM and if it's within reason, probably leave it and it's a spare that can save your day, but won't fly amazing. If it's a ton of errors, I'm going to try swapping some of the drivers and MCUs, I think, because I have so many donors, I can do that.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do to fix that yet. I have 2 or 3 that that basically work, but I have one channel that has, I don't know, like 2000 RPMs missing.
Yeah, I think it's probably the driver or probably the driver, but maybe the MCU. So my expectation now is that we're gonna get absolutely nothing. I think the board is just not powered, but we'll see. There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
So it works.
Wait, do
And
it again.
all 4. That we don't have a flight controller, so but at least all cores are energized. So we'll stick a flight controller on it and we'll see if we get some weird things happening. Sometimes though, you do get broken stuff that actually isn't broken. And
did Clyde
done
send you
everything.
this ESC? No.
This one's, I think this one's from Roost.
Okay.
Roost FPV, check him out on Instagram. He's our best local pilot, and he does crazy things. And he may or may not have dived. No, he definitely has not dived the Eiffel Tower recently.
Oh God.
On a whoop, I think it's pretty safe. I'm gonna go out and say it. I think it's pretty safe. Can I get some more? Yeah, we'll do. Oh, gummies. Gummies. I have gummies. Just want to prevent, don't get short. And now we get to do the most fun thing: pin out a connector. So, shit, I don't see the order on this side. Time to go for the documentation. So basically I need to make the connector between the flight controller I have and the ESCs. ESC, I think it might be super standard and might work out of the box. We'll see. Let's see the pinning. More, no, not good enough. ESC. I know it's there somewhere. There we go. So we have, oh, that's convenient. This side is VBAT, ground VBAT, and the motors. And this is ground VBAT. Yes, it's compatible outright with my current test SC. Let's push it in all the way so we don't get weird things. There we go. Let's put the overcurrent protection back and let's hear it. Okay, so far so good. Now we'll spin the motors. Oop. Right, this one should tidy up. Let's remove the OCP. So here, interesting thing to see, the red text here should disappear after it powers up, if it all works.
We can't really see it all because
You
of
can
the
see this
overhead
part.
cam. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the left part.
Yeah, those are okay.
And the last one is also good, I promise.
Nice.
And let's spin those and see if we get errors. Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with this one.
That's pretty good.
Easy repair when you don't have to repair. Thanks. Yeah, well, thanks, Roost, or whoever gave it to me. It's gonna go in
It
the
was
box.
a donation.
Yep. Someone was fed up with SpeedyBee, and what are the chances the other one is the same? Maybe we're fixing two of them. So at least, I mean, even if we didn't get to fix this ESC because it wasn't broken, you got to see all the steps I take to check stuff and like safeties and like things I do so I don't burn a motor bets stupidly and everything. So yeah, let's put it in the box. I mean, no, actually, you know the rule, my new rule.
It needs,
to fly. It needs to fly. It needs to fly. So let's remove this and solder the thing back on. And I remember the order, so it's going to be trivially easy. Yeah, let me bring you with me in the adventure of soldering 3 remaining wires. It's probably the ugliest soldering I've done today. I'm super happy we managed to fix the broken trace one though. That was fun. First trace repair, everything works. I mean, was the trace important? Was the... I mean, one of the 3 things I did was important because it didn't work, and then it works.
That's what counts.
Which one was? I don't know. I'll never know. I don't have the diagram, so... Shut up, Baloo. Change your name to your real name. Don't be a coward. You know, Nick, I've seen SpeedyBee ESCs live for a long time, as long as they're deleted. When they have the cover, something tends to break quickly just because of the contact and shorts. But you know, oh, Trisika, hi, welcome, welcome. Haven't seen you around. Well, that's because it's the first stream in English. But yeah, happy you're here. So let's not put screws here because who cares? We have this, we have that. We just need the Piglet. That's the Piglet. And I did check that this SE was configured correctly yesterday by flying it. Oop. There you go. Piglet is in place. We need some props. Put on the props, remove the props, put on the props. Let's try to not mess the prop direction, which makes me realize we need to make sure the ESC is correct. Sorry, is that what you were going to say?
No. You don't want a drone flipping out in your living room?
No, I don't. So I'm going to do the thing because I forgot to do the thing. So the FC is configured correctly. The ESC might not be.
Yeah.
Side. The motor order will be good if you run the ESC in this direction, which isn't guaranteed, and the motor direction is random depending on wire order, windings in the motors and everything. I mean, technically, I shouldn't do it with a LiPo because it was a LiPo at storage, so it's probably going to die soon. It's an old LiPo, so that's fine. Let's go through the thing. Okay, order was right. I haven't shown you the thing. And I'm going to do the motor direction. Okay. 1, so probably 4 is going to be bad too. Oh no, 2 is bad too. And 4 is good. Okay, well, good. Now we can fly it. Put on the props. Hey, leave you. Welcome, welcome. Is that what I do all night? Sometimes, yes. And this week particularly has been quite heavy in repairs. Well, last week, as we started off. But yeah, it's what I'm doing these days. I'm having fun repairing electronics, and mostly, I guess in this case, not repairing it, but flying it indoors. The reason I say that is because if you missed it, the ESC was actually functional, or at least as far as I can tell. Maybe desyncs, maybe it's something like that, but that's not something I'm going to be able to tell. I can only guarantee so far as it flying, like hovering. So Trisika is saying what would look dope on that, a Joseph strap, which is brand new straps that say, go fuck yourself on them, that are amazing, and I want some, that Joseph just made. Well, technically it says GFY, so you can leave it to interpretation. But I want some. I want them. Yep. Yeah. I can answer that question, Nick. When do we get Voltaire again? March. That's what I've been told. All right. The piglet is on the bird. I repeat, the piglet is on the bird. Let me pull out my radio. And over this. Double checking that the props are on the right way, but they are. And let's see if it kills my house. Well,
you got it.
well, that didn't do anything.
What?
Huh.
You plug it in the LiPo and it did not boot up?
What voltage is my LiPo at? Let's do it again with the...
Oh.
Interesting, interesting.
Okay, so your LiPo's dead?
My LiPo. How low did I run this? The piglet has died. Let's go voltmeter.
Or the ESC is fucked with...
No, I'm powering up with the same thing. No, that's 23 volts. Maybe I just... What happened? Oh, it might be the pins that are too...
That's
interesting. Weird. Interesting. So it boots. The FC boots. Yeah. It boots on... the plot thickens. It boots on 4S. Let's try 6S on the power supply. And it doesn't boot. That could be the TVS diode. That could be the TVS diode that's kind of shorting in some way.
That's weird. It would work.
That is very weird. Okay. That's very interesting. I love this.
And if you reswitch to 4S, it's up?
Yeah, I'm guessing it boots right up. No, it does not. Interesting.
So it's a bit random.
So it's probably a defective back. That's the kind of the thing I was thinking of. If I discharged, could be the cap acting up. It could be the cap. There's a cap. No, there's no cap. It's the other one has a cap.
Okay, time to remove the props.
Yep. And if I unplug it and leave the cap to discharge, presumably, then it boots right up. But if I go to 6S, it boots right up. What the hell is happening? And it works.
All right.
Huh. Okay. Could it be?
It was too easy, so, curveball.
Okay, what I'm going to start with, because it's an easy thing to do first, is swap the pigtail. Swap out the pigtail in case there's some bad contact. That could just be it. That could just be those wires are dead.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I would say that's probably the most likely. I'll swap those wires. I can do it directly on the quad because I'm lazy. I'll swap it to a clean pigtail. Up. Technically, that doesn't need to be under the microscope, but when in Rome. Up. Oh, no, that's a crusty thing. Let's go pull out the big guns. Guess we can always throw some flux on it, even though it's not really oxidation. That's gonna annoy us, more like crustiness. There we go. There we go. See, that's the cool thing with the microscope, is that you can really see what's happening. Like, you can see the solder melting and everything. I'm going to put some amount of solder on my iron to kind of act as a impedance matching. And now we wait. Oh, I thought I waited for long enough for it to solidify it, but hopefully I'll double check under the board if I didn't project some solder all over the place. That wasn't very clever. I didn't wait for long enough before I released.
I gotta go. I'll
Have
be
a
sure
good
to watch
one.
the replay to
Thank you
see
so
if
much
it
for
was
coming.
the wires or not.
Yeah.
Yes, have a good one.
See ya.
Goodbye.
And obviously, y'all who might have missed the start of the stream, I have the voice comms open for anyone who wants to come chat. It's on my Discord. There's a link in the description. You're welcome to join in, and as long as you don't start like plugging in your crypto scam or something, then you're welcome to join. There we go. That's a pigtail removed. Let me double check that we didn't project any solder, but it doesn't look like we did. Let's pull those up. Oh, that's classic speed. Those are all on the bottom side. It doesn't need to be pretty for testing. Just gonna put some more solder here. And this one's nice. This one's all gonna go on the bottom. Let me kind of flick it out of the way. Don't do this. There we go. Should be able to put some more there. Ah, good enough. Let me grab a pigtail. I have a bunch there. We're not looking for the prettiest joint around, just something that's good enough. And those props are, I'm being annoyed by the props being on, kind of annoying me. I'll just wait for the solder to melt on the pad. I can see it melting and should be good enough. There we go. Yeah, usually you shouldn't like solder within the frame with all the standoffs, making it annoying and everything, but yeah, it works. If it works, it works. Oh, it was all blurry for you guys, sorry. Well, I guess you got the gist of it. I need a chisel type tip. I do have a chisel type. I do, but I kind of prefer the wedge ones for those. I'll mostly use the bent chisels before. I kind of like those. But I change my opinion every few weeks. So, all right, was it the pigtail? I'm gonna do a best out of 5. If it's good after 5, I'm gonna try flying it. Good 1. Good 2. I mean, to me, it sounds like it was the wire. we could get some. My radio is going crazy behind me. Right. We could get some closure by doing some resistance testing, and I get to show you my cool new toy, which is a milliohm meter, and we'll see if we can get it to detect high resistance on one of the wires, and that should give us some closure in terms of being sure that was the issue. For that, I need a thing to plug it into. Give me a second. There we go. We'll use this. Oh. So basically, I'm going to just measure the resistance of the wires, and I'm going to jiggle the wires and see. So I'm plug this in, and I use the clamps, one on one end. And I'll put some tin on those, actually, so they are easier to clamp to. Omnifix. I never do this under a microscope, but that's a good way for you to see it, and it's cool. It's cool to do it under a microscope. Good enough. All right, let's try this on this side. And this. So those are super annoying, super thick wires, so I'm guessing low resistance. Oh, my solder didn't wick all the way. Be right back. That's what I get to try to rush stuff on stream. Usually I would put some flux, and it helps thinning the whole wire in one go. But I'm trying to go too fast. I'm trying to rely on the flux that's in the solder. That's going to be hard enough that I can clamp on it with the tester. I mean, now that I see it, this doesn't look like it's the sexiest of connections. So yeah, let's try doing this again. I'll do on the minus because that's the one that looks like it's. All right, so what do we have? 1.4 milliohms. Can I make it go bad? Yeah, it seems pretty. Oh, 31. I saw 31. So that's kind of a smoking gun, maybe? Can't do it consistently. I don't know. Let's see the other one. It's not a definitive answer. Well, yep. Oh, might be my contact with the probes. So, I don't know. Not as a definitive an answer as I wanted, but maybe those they can be used to test internal resistances of batteries. That's what they mostly use for. So that's pretty cool. And I'm Oh yeah, you're chatting about anti-spark plugs. The anti-spark ones, yeah, I've never seen them done for XT60, but to be honest, I don't really, yeah, usually break and need to be replaced before they get used up by the sparks in my experience, at least in bando. Yeah, I could have pushed the lead. I mean, I'm guessing at that point, I'm just, it's about time at the end of the stream, so I'm just going to fly at this, and we'll see if it works. Maybe now I put the little piggy on top, plug it in, it doesn't work. We'll see. I'm quite hopeful. Let's go piggy mode. Oh, it works. But that kind of explains why it ended up on my desk, because it didn't work consistently. Let's go. Let's put it in, put it on the ground. And we're good.
Let's
Nice.
go. Success.
Success. So it was probably the pigtail. I have a, like, if it was going to fail now, it would have failed at some point. So interesting repair. May had me sweat for a bit. One thing I can tell you, Nico, though, that I don't use anti-spark plugs, and like we discussed, but I do use TVS diodes on my builds, and those are they're called what they're called spike absorbers, and I think you can put beside with your capacitor, and they kind of maybe do nothing. It's one of those, like, they probably do nothing because we have a capacitor that kind of supposed to regulate voltage spikes. And the TVS diode usually will only clamp above like 35 volts, I think they're spec'd out for. So it means if the voltage were to go above 35, which it shouldn't because we have a capacitor to kind of make that not happen, then it would clamp the current, clamp the voltage and protect your electronics. And maybe in a big crash where all your motors stall, you could like kind of fill up the capacitor and get to the point where the TVS diode saves your quad. Thing is, it's only a few bucks, so it's my good luck charm, and I put those in my builds. And since I've started putting them in our builds, I haven't burned any electronics. I've had electronics die due to shock damage, very rarely, but they can happen where something touches, like on a bad slam, electronics touches the carbon or touches something else, and kind of components get shorted or crushed. But from electrical, I haven't had neither the electronics on board nor the VTX die ever. So it's my good luck charm, and put them into my build. But yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna do desolder this off stream and put it in the box. I think we all will agree that it's working. So that's about the end of the stream. But I'll thank you very much, everybody, to who's come and chatted and made this a lovely place. I'm probably going to do more streams in English. I still have a bunch of things in the box to repair. I also have the box full of nice goodies that a friend sent me. I'm going to repair those as much as I can, send them back to him so he can actually distribute them in his region. Yeah, I still have plenty of hardware for streams. And obviously, I welcome donations. If you have dead hardware and you're in Europe, where it's going to be easy to send it, I'll welcome all donations. If you're going to throw it away anyway, send it my way. I might get repaired on stream and put in the box. And if you ever find me in real life, you can ask to pick and choose from the box for €5 a piece. All right. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.
Goodbye.